And people have brought up, you need to have guest parking. We completely agree. We agree that there should be guest parking provided outside of gates where it's accessible.
The guest parking spaces, 1 per 8 units, it doesn't feel like it's enough. Why go against the average, you know, the across the valley? Why go against that? There may be a good reason, but I've not heard it.
With multifamily, my thoughts are that the increase to the studio and 1 bedroom makes sense to me. I'm struggling with the decrease of the 2 bedrooms.
Right.
For me, I know rents in Scottsdale are increasing. I believe it's, in my opinion, that will require multiple income earners to pay rent. And I would take another step forward and say that if you're an income earner, the likelihood of you having a car is high. And I think that's applicable to 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom units. But I do struggle with the 2 bedroom being reduced. With that, also in the downtown area, we keep saying it's more urban, but I can tell you one of the considerations I look at is what do we have for grocery down there? So we don't have the facilities to incentivize removing a car from the situation at this point. I don't know many people who are eating out every night or having their food delivered to them on a constant basis. So I'm not understanding the reduction of needing a car and thus parking for those spaces. So at this point, I'm liking very much that A and B are going up, or the studio and 1 bedrooms, and that C, the 2 bedrooms, I struggle with it dropping to 1.7. Guest parking, these photos from Mrs. Kirtley are very evidential that guest parking is an issue.
I guess I'd like to just repeat Commissioner Scarborough's mention of the reduction of the 2-bedroom unit. I just don't see that that's going to be a positive thing. I would say that most people that live in the downtown area that would have a 2-bedroom isn't like parents with a young child in that 2nd bedroom. I'm sure that it's 2 income earners that may have 2 cars. So I think that keeping that at the 2 mark is probably more appropriate. The guest parking, obviously from photos that I'm seeing here that one of the speakers had sent in, this is a huge problem, and it spills out into the neighborhood, and it's not fair for those adjacent property owners.
So then you look at, okay, well then we add 1 guest parking spot per 8 units. That to me doesn't seem sufficient. There's people that talk about 1 out of 4. I think it was when this commission just recently had looked at the Kimsey project, the Triangle. That was passed by the city council at 1 parking spot per 4 units, if I'm not incorrect. And people were pretty happy with that. And so we're looking at 1 to 8. And I think there's some room for improvement there. And I appreciate when Randy Grant was on the phone, he said that city staff believes that public or guest parking for these types of multifamily units should be accessible. There should not be a barrier between the guest and the parking spot. So I really hope it moves forward in that direction.
I was considering purchasing where some good friends of mine live in South Scottsdale. Amazing, newer, energy-efficient condos, great complex. They do have some guest parking, but no one can park overnight. And there's no other place to park. There's not even a safe parking lot for miles. There's nowhere to park. And if I want to have a guest, or anybody wants to have a guest that comes in from out of town, and my whole family's out of town, they wouldn't be able to park anywhere. And there are so many stories. It's a battle with their HOA and people's cars getting towed, and it's a disaster. And that deterred me from purchasing a $500,000 2-bedroom condo. So, but that's silly. But that's impacting real estate for things like that.